What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Last time, there definitely were some interesting developments, mainly towards the end of the video. Of course, with Buu being good, he's a great asset to the team, getting stronger himself as well as helping everyone else get stronger. But it does have a consequence later on with Zamasu, who decides maybe it would be a good idea to steal Buu's body. So now in Trunks' timeline, Zamasu and Buu's body, otherwise known as Buu Black, is causing havoc there. And since he certainly is a tough villain, will everyone be able to actually defeat him? For this part, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes, and once we hit that, I'll continue with another part to the series. Anyways, let's pick up from here. We left off the last part with Buu Black arriving in the past. Of course, everyone's pretty surprised to see him, but the most surprise of all is Buu. That definitely is him, but something's not right here. Obviously, he would know himself, and if that Buu somehow was him and achieved that power through absorptions, he wouldn't be looking like that, nor would his power feel like it does. He's trying to analyze this fighter until he's suddenly attacked by him, quickly blocking the hit. The two Buus are surprised by each other's power, but they continue fighting. The aura that Buu can sense from this guy is kinda weird. It's familiar but different. It takes him a bit to recognize it, but then he realizes. Wait, the earring, the time ring, and the aura. This ki is one of a Supreme Kai. Of course he knows what a Supreme Kai's ki feels like. He's been around them all the time when training, and he has Kais within him. That's why it felt so familiar, but he didn't recognize it. It doesn't seem like this guy's a Kai, or at least he doesn't know how he could be. It's Buu. And it's not like he's looking at himself with a Kai absorbed. It's more like he is actually a Kai, rather than just having absorbed one. But more importantly, this guy's dangerous. He needs to defeat him and quick. Wanting to get this guy under control, and seeing if he can grow stronger somehow, he tries to absorb Buu Black. But Buu Black dodges this and is surprised. What was that he just did? Even though he dodged the first attempt, he's then frozen, as Buu begins powering up, trying to do it again. He'll immobilize this imposter first, sending kamikaze ghosts in his direction. They all blow up around Buu Black, and as the smoke dissipates and Buu Black regenerates, Buu appears behind him with a Kamehameha. Buu Black can't react quick enough, so instead he channels all of his ki into his hand, as he's then completely annihilated by Buu. Seemingly, Buu destroyed every single part of Buu Black besides the hand, which is why he channeled all the ki there. He coated his hand in ki to survive, using the time ring on it to teleport back to the future, before Buu can even catch him and defeat him fully. Buu Black's hand retreats, and now the group is just left wondering, what did they do about this and what even was that? At least now they have a gauge for his strength. Unlike Goku vs Goku Black, Buu wasn't holding back here. Buu Black was actually that strong where Buu had to use his full strength. But there is a bright side here though. Even with Buu Black injured, he's not going to be getting Zenkais like Goku Black did. He will be strong due to his God Ki and the fact that he is Buu, but the silver lining is he's not going to be as overpowered as someone like Goku Black was. Although he's still strong as is, so it's still an issue regardless. Another good thing is, from this fight, Trunks saw that this Buu was actually good, and he's confused as to how that even happened. He was told that Buu was some incredibly evil being that was also very destructive, and somehow this guy seems normal, or at least as normal as a Majin could be. Trunks is actually surprised to hear the story of Buu and how he turned good. That would have been really beneficial in his timeline, but it would have been way harder to do there. And as far as I could tell, this isn't Buu, it's some other guy. Trunks prevented Buu from being awoken in his timeline, and this Buu has the essence of a Kai, which Beerus and Whis would have also noticed. It's kind of an outlandish theory, but Buu says maybe someone took over his body. That version of Buu didn't absorb anyone, it seems more like the opposite actually. And while his theory is weird, Beerus and Whis decide maybe they should check with Zamasu. He's prime suspect number 1. He seems crazy and it definitely would take a crazy and evil Kai to do that. So, Beerus takes Buu with him, wanting to see what's going on. On Earth, the Saiyans are left to their own devices. They can't really go to the future right now because they need to fix the time machine, which was destroyed by Buu Black. And even if they did want to go to the future, Buu Black is way too strong. They don't want to risk that right yet. They're going to need to train, or at least figure out some other way of defeating him. Until Buu gets back, they hang around, waiting to see what happens. As for Zamasu in this timeline, nothing is done with him yet. They can't really prove that he did anything wrong, they just have a suspicion. And it's not like they could flat out tell Gowasu either, especially not Zamasu as well. But Zamasu is pretty intrigued by Buu, who is brought to the planet along with Beerus and Whis. He did watch a bit of GodTube and saw Buu on there, and he picks up a weird feeling from Buu. Is there a bit of Kai inside him? Actually yes, Buu has Kais living in him. Zamasu probably wouldn't really like to hear this either. It would mean that Buu forcibly absorbed them. But Buu explains, he was once an evil being that was purely chaotic. These Kais in him basically help regulate how he is now. He's a good guy. It's essentially as if he's a Kai now, living out their lives through him. He is a bit nervous about this explanation, but Zamasu just says very well. But naturally Zamasu would still be suspicious of this guy, and vice versa. Zamasu definitely is An odd guy. They really can't put their finger on it, but there definitely is something off with him, so they'll have to keep an eye on him. Buu returns and he's glad to see that no one left yet. He thought that they'd maybe act rash and go to the future without him, and it's good that they're still here because he has a plan. He wants to train them. No need for a time chamber or anything, he's just going to train them the way he did with Gohan. He has a method of helping them exploit Zenkais. By hurting them and then healing them, they get a lot stronger, but he can't just do it rapidly over and over again. Almost as if there's a cooldown period of sorts. If he just kept on spamming and spamming it, it would eventually have diminishing returns, so he can only do it a few times, at least in the short period of time that they have right now. The Saiyans aren't really too sure about it, but Gohan assures them it's okay. It's basically what he's been doing this whole time, so maybe they should too. A few days pass. They do some pretty rigorous training, with a couple bad injuries in between. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Trunks grow a lot stronger. Not exceptionally strong to the point where they'd be able to one-shot Buu Black, but enough where they'd be able to help contend against him. The thing is, Buu's not even sure that was his full strength. He may have just not been used to the body if he actually did steal it. For all he knows, Buu Black may be more used to it now. But I guess they'll have to find out. The time machine is finally repaired, so they can all finally travel back. It's kinda squish fitting 5 people in there, but thankfully, Buu can stretch himself out. And actually, he has a better idea. While everyone's not looking, he turns them all into candy. Oh, this is much more efficient. He'll turn them back once they're in the future, but for now this makes the trip more comfortable. They're kinda pissed that he did this, but hey, it works. The time machine arrives in the future, with Buu and a couple chocolate bars inside. He turns them all back to normal, and now they have one obvious objective, find Buu Black and defeat him. Thankfully, they don't need to look far. There's a city exploding nearby, and it's pretty obvious to tell that's not normal, so they go check it out and see that Buu Black is there. He's surprised to see them again, and tells everyone he wants to introduce them to someone. Everyone is shocked as they see another person appear. Zamasu. Of course, they don't know it's him, but Buu knows it is. He assumes this was the same Zamasu from the past, but Zamasu clarifies he's actually from this timeline. And even better, he's not the only Zamasu. Buu Black actually is him. Which is pretty shocking to find out, but Buu's kinda glad that his theory was right. He told them it wasn't a stupid theory, and now look who's right. Jokes aside though, Buu tries to casually kill Zamasu. He knows he's not too strong, so with one blast, he completely eradicates him. Until Zamasu just regenerates. Okay, that's not normal. Kais aren't supposed to do that. Time for a third reveal. Zamasu reveals that he's immortal. They can't kill him no matter how hard they try. But you know what? That won't be a problem. He still doesn't seem too strong, even if he is immortal, so all they need to do is defeat Buu Black, and then they can find some way to contain Zamasu later. But Trunks comes up with a good idea. He decides the group should split up. The 4 Saiyans should try and fight Buu Black, while Buu will go fight Zamasu. Maybe with his magic he can find some way to contain him, or he can absorb him somehow. Buu's kinda hesitant. If he absorbs Zamasu, maybe that'll influence his personality to make him evil again. He's not really too sure, but he'll think of something. The group splits up, and Buu Black is surprised to see all these guys trying to fight him. They seemed pretty weak before when he traveled back in time, so he doesn't really expect much from them. As for Zamasu, he wonders what Buu is planning. Surely he knows he can't kill him. So what else is he going to try and do? Buu has a pretty simple solution. He just continuously beats down Zamasu. Even if he is immortal, it's not that hard to quote-unquote kill Zamasu. And even if he regenerates, it's not a painless thing. He can overwhelm Zamasu doing this. It's kind of brutal, but it works. It holds the Kai off, and in the process, it destroys his time ring. Zamasu doesn't even realize this, same with his Patara earring. That'll be an issue later on. Buu continues facing him, being able to paralyze him with his Kai abilities, and turning him into candy when he needs. He considers absorbing Zamasu, but he's kinda wary about it. At least for now he can still hold Zamasu off. Meanwhile, the other guys are fighting Buu Black, and he's actually pretty concerned. Sure, he can regenerate, but he can't regenerate as fast as they're attacking him. There's 4 of them at once. And they're much stronger than he could have ever imagined. He doesn't know what happened. It's only been a few days. They couldn't have gotten this strong that quickly. Buu Black is actually getting kinda anxious, and he wonders why the other Buu isn't there fighting him. But then he realizes they plan to kill him, then contain Zamasu somehow. And he knows that it'll work. He has no path to actually winning here. If he continues fighting these guys, he's going to lose. Panicked, he teleports away mid-battle, as he then appears in front of Buu and Zamasu. Buu can tell that he's kinda overwhelmed. Buu Black looks injured and a bit anxious. Zamasu asks why he's here. Why didn't he deal with those mortals and kill them? Buu Black simply says that they're too strong. Altogether, he can't face them. And the two actually begin arguing. It's weird to see because it is just Zamasu arguing with himself technically. The rest of the group flies over and they see what's happening. Zamasu tells Buu Black that they should fuse. And as he reaches for his earring, he realizes it isn't there. He tells Buu Black not to worry, he'll just make another one. And he tries that, but then Buu Black suddenly grabs him, putting Zamasu in a chokehold. Buu Black begins laughing as Zamasu struggles. He has a much better idea. Zamasu is surrounded by pink goo, as Buu Black tries to absorb him. Everyone watches as he's slowly assimilated into Buu Black. They try and kill him, but it doesn't work. Zamasu takes most of the attack and just regenerates from it regardless, and before they even realize it, he's now part of Buu Black. This is more efficient than fusing, they know it'll definitely work, plus it pretty much has the same effects, which is why Buu Black is so confident. He's coated in a godly aura. As he then begins morphing, his clothes change, and he grows noticeably stronger. It's a simple transformation, but once it completes, everyone sees the result. It's the same looking Buu, except his clothes are different and he seems a lot stronger. Not only does he have Zamasu's strength and abilities, but he also now has full immortality. They just witnessed the birth of Bumasu. Okay, this is an issue. Technically they should all overpower him here, but they can't really do that now because he is immortal. He regenerates so fast that they can't even counter it. They try and fight him, but his regeneration is limitless and pretty much instant. He even leaves himself open for attacks, as the group responds by charging a massive beam together, trying to disintegrate him. As quickly as the beam disappears, Bumasu regenerates. Now it seems like they may be screwed. This is clearly not ideal. Damn, they need a retreat. So, Buu tries to help everyone get out of there. All of a sudden, he splits himself into hundreds of clones, which all zap Bumasu with a candy beam, one of Buu's favorite techniques. It actually does turn him to candy, but he slowly starts morphing back to his normal self, fighting off of the Buu clones, which are relatively weak. But that wasn't meant to kill him, that was just meant to distract him, as Buu escaped with his allies. They hide away somewhere as Buu decides to tell them a plan. He knows assimilation with him isn't permanent, so there may actually be a way to defuse Buu and Zamasu. It would be tough and they definitely would need some extra muscle just to stall him. But it's not impossible, which is the good thing. All they need to do is rip Zamasu out of Buu Black, or destroy the body somehow and separate Zamasu from it. If they figure out a way to do that, they can win. And Buu's plan is to absorb everyone here. He'll free them all later, but for now he hopes they can trust him and grant him their power. If he absorbs all of them, he'll become more than strong enough to do this. They're all not really too sure about it, especially Trunks because he doesn't really know Buu. But Gohan jumps in and says that this idea is good, saying they need to let Buu do this. Goku agrees, and they need to convince Trunks and Vegeta. Those two are still wary and not too trusting of Buu. But Vegeta then realizes, it's been too long, he needs to trust Buu now. After all this time, there's no way he can't. He was just holding a grudge for too long. And frankly, for Trunks, he knows the only other option is losing. There's no other way besides doing something this drastic. Hesitantly, he agrees too. They all stand together, ready for Buu to do his thing. He thanks them and promises them that this will work. They'll win and he'll see them soon. Bumasu finally transforms, going back to his normal self instead of his candy form. He keeps defeating Buu's clones, but some of them start to liquefy themselves, flying over somewhere else. He's confused, but he decides to follow the pieces. They may lead him to where Buu and everyone else is. He flies over following the pieces and sees. Below him is a massive pink blob that's slowly getting smaller and smaller, and it seems it's gaining a humanoid form. Eventually, it stops, and the only thing left there is Buu. Although his clothes look a bit different, Bumasu descends getting a better look, and in front of him he sees Buu, but with a new mix of clothes. The same gi that Goku and Gohan have, although with colors similar to Vegeta's outfit, as well as Trunks' scarf. It hits him, he realizes what just happened. Buu just absorbed all of them. Super Buu's power is now beyond anything they've ever felt before. Even Bumasu is scared. Yeah, he's immortal, but this power is only something a god of destruction would have. Is he truly that strong? Buu is pretty amazed too. He doesn't even know what to name himself now. Buu Honks Kujita. Buu Han Jito Inks. No, that doesn't work either. Okay, for simplicity, he's still Buu. Buu sticks one hand out, sending a massive blast that launches Bumasu into space. He doesn't want to destroy anything on Earth, and now with everyone inside of him, they can finally fight up there. Buu teleports up there as Bumasu regenerates instantly. The two begin fighting. Whenever Bumasu attacks, it can't do anything to Buu. No matter what he does, Buu blocks the attack or dodges it. Alright, he gave Bumasu a chance to attack, and now it's his turn. He's not going to screw around here. He needs to make sure Earth is okay, and he's going to save this timeline single-handedly. Well, technically it's 5 of them, but you know what I mean. His speed alone makes it so that Bumasu can't even track him. He zips around the vacuum of space like it's nothing. I mean, I guess the vacuum of space is nothing, but once again, you know what I mean. Buu hits Bumasu with some speedy and powerful attacks. He doesn't care how fast this guy can regenerate, he's going to counter it somehow. With all these quick and powerful attacks, it essentially stuns the fake Buu. As Buu then flicks a small piece of him into Bumasu, this small piece forms into another Buu, who travels inside to find Zamasu. And he's successful. This miniature Buu cuts Zamasu out, pulling him outside of Buu Black, as well as the Kais inside of him. Buu Black has an odd feeling. He doesn't even know what's going on, but suddenly he begins transforming once more. Buu watches, knowing he's been successful, but it's a really odd transformation. Bumasu reverts into Kid Buu, although it still is Zamasu inside of that body. He panics, knowing how weak he is now, as he looks at Buu with fear in his eyes. Buu shouts, and it's almost as if the entire universe shakes. This shout alone completely eradicates Kid Buu. meaning it kills that Zamasu too. Now there's an issue. Buu also freed Zamasu and the Kais inside of Buu Black, and to do this he would have had to free Fat Buu. But thankfully, he knows Fat Buu is all good. He did this in the hopes that the Kais would take over, since this universe clearly lacks them. If the Grand Supreme Kai inside of Buu somehow takes over Fat Buu, maybe he can act as a replacement for Shin. But more importantly, he has to deal with Zamasu. The good thing is, Buu stole something from Buu Black before killing him, the other time ring. He rips off a piece of himself and throws it at Zamasu, restraining him. He grabs onto Zamasu and Fat Buu. He slips the time ring on, hoping he'll be able to channel the Kai's power inside him and use it. Thankfully, he's able to get it to work, as Buu then teleports back to the past with Zamasu and Fat Buu from the future. Since this part is getting kinda long, this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what do you think Buu is gonna do next? How will he handle Fat Buu and Zamasu too? It seems the future may be saved, but will they be able to have Kais again? Also, how will this arc fully conclude, and what do you think will happen next? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal so we get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.